Hey, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you genki? Did you have a very happy new year? I hope so. I'm feeling much happier, thanks, by the way. So yeah, looking forward to a fantastic 2025 full of great comics, great stories, really good art. So, what do we have coming out this week? I've got quite a few picks. Not as many as there have been recently, but there are some big releases this week, as you can see, from DC, including Absolute Batman that's coming out. From Marvel, it's Amazing Spider-Man is still getting people to buy it, surprisingly. Get rid of Nick Lowe. Transformers is out, Geiger's out, Batman Dark Patterns, a new Aquaman issue on, looking good. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into my picks for this week. It will be January the 8th release date, Wednesday, January the 8th, 2025. How crazy is that? Okay, starting with DC Comics as usual, Absolute Batman issue 4, written by Scott Snyder. Art for this issue by Gabriel Hernandez Walter. Colours by Frank Martin. $4.99 for 32 pages. It says here, Absolute Batman has established himself as an extremely large force to be reckoned with. I tell you what, he looks pretty large on this cover, doesn't he? But how did he get to this point? How did he push himself? And how did the tragic events of his childhood and the advice of his father shape the man who he became? Guest artist Gabriel Hernandez Walter joins for this essential origin issue of Absolute Batman. Now check this out, on the League of Comic Book Geeks site, there's a little post or a message by Scott Snyder himself. He says, when Nick and I were talking about doing a flashback issue, we both had the same artist in mind to pass the baton to while Nick wraps up this first arc. Gabriel Walter is a once-in-a-generation talent, and his work on books like The Vision blew me away. I've been getting pages in from him all week and they're sensational. Really excited for this one. He posted this on November 13th. So yeah, the cover here, the main one I've chosen is Nick Dragotta's cover. Great cover. There are a couple of open order variants, not too keen on those. One nice incentive cover, a 1 in 50 by Jorge Fornes, but I won't be able to get that. Next we have Batman and Robin, issue 17, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Carmine de Giandomenico. I also want to say Carmine Falcone, you know what I mean. $4.99, 32 pages. Terror in Arkham Tower. Desperate to question Scarecrow about the recent plague of memento killings, Batman must fight his way through a full-scale breakout at Arkham. But when Memento enters the fray and reveals his true form, Robin may be his father's only hope. There's a nice main cover here by Javier Fernandez, but I gotta say, I do like this Dustin Nguyen, is that how you pronounce it? Dustin Nguyen? The cardstock variant, cover C. Pretty cool. How about you? Which one would you choose? And my third pick, 3 Batman books in a row, Batman Dark Patterns issue 2. Written by Dan Waters, art is by Hayden Sherman, colours Triona Farrell. We got 32 pages for $4.99. Pretty weird looking cover here, what do you think? There is a one variant cover, but I didn't like the Martin Simmons variant. Pretty freaky. We Are Wounded Part 2. As the mysterious wound man's body count rises higher and higher, the Dark Knight detective must descend into the festering depths of Gotham's past to uncover the secret truth at the heart of Wound Man's crimes. Really enjoyed the first issue. I dropped a review of that if you've not seen it on my channel. Yeah, looking forward to this, I really am. Okay, next up is a new issue 1. We have Aquaman, number 1. Written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms, colours Rex Locus. The main cover here is by John Timms, but I've got to say, I do like this Ivan Rice cardstock variant. It's the cover B. Pretty cool image, and look at the angle there. Great perspective. Okay, let's have a look for the synopsis. The king is back, baby. In the wake of absolute power, Arthur Curry's powers have evolved to powerful new heights, and this is one king ready to use them to kick some serious butt. Mammoth water construct kaijus have emerged from each of the 7 seas. And only Aquaman's water warping abilities can stop them, but not if they kill the good king in the process. Enter Dagon, Arthur's guide on the quest to unlock the secrets of the blue. But what deadly secret awaits Arthur on his journey? There we go, what do you think? Sounds pretty exciting. It's an all-new era for Aquaman by acclaimed creators Jeremy Adams and John Timms. Moving on to Marvel, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man issue 65, legacy number 959. Written by Joe Kelly, art is by Cafu, colours Frank Darmata. This is $4.99, 32 pages. Spider-Man has faced 4 Scions and is running out of extra lives. This issue's Scion, Cyra, C-Y-R-A, represents the very power of death itself and makes Spider-Man watch everything he loves die. Can Spider-Man possibly withstand this punishment? Main cover here is by Mark Bagley. I do like this one. What do you think? It's a pretty dramatic looking cover here, isn't it? Yeah, still reading it. I know, not the biggest fan, but if I'm able to get review copies of Spider-Man, I'm going to keep reading it because, me and Spidey, we go way back. Just to let you know, we do have Uncanny X-Men 8, Wolverine 5, and Nyx number 7 coming out, but I'm not buying or reading those at the moment. I do want to shout out this one. It is a new number 1, Magik, written by Ashley Allen. Art is by German Peralta, colours Arthur Helsey. Main cover here is by J. Scott Campbell, but I've got to say, I do like this David Nakayama variant. Love the lines on this, and yeah, it really pops out, doesn't it? Look at the size of her, I was going to say sword, but you know that I'm looking at her thighs, right? Anyway, the Mystic Mutant goes demon hunting in her own new ongoing series. The X-Man Ilyana Rasputina strikes out on her own with new allies and dark powers arrayed against her. Something ancient has wakened beneath the Alaskan ice. Unfortunately for it, that's Magik's territory now. It's described as a stylish, high-octane demon-hunting adventure starring the fiercest X-Man of them all. $4.99, 32 pages. Yeah, what do you think? Are you interested in this? I always like to try out new number 1s, and Magik is a character I've enjoyed, in like mini-series before, although, as I've said before, I'm not an X-Man expert, I don't know that much about the character, but if it's good, I will try it. Next up, and one of the surprises of the X-Men books, it is Sentinels issue 4. Surprised because I think it's been really good so far. Written by Alex Packnadel, art by Justin Mason, colours Federico Blee. Not too keen on the main cover here, Justin Mason, sorry mate, but yeah, I do quite like this Pascal Ferry variant. Certainly a lot more colourful, and I like the poses more in this, pretty cool. That mysterious looking sentinel skull or head in the background is pretty awesome. Okay, what's it about? With the program shuttered by Corina Ellis, the Sentinels face an uncertain future. What does it mean to be terminated when your job is literally your life? And what will 4 unstoppable super soldiers do with the time left to them? That sounds pretty similar to the last synopsis, just going off memory, but yeah, as I say, it's a good kind of sci-fi X-Men series. Check it out if you're not reading it. Okay, next up is Image Comics. I've got 3 picks from Image. First one, Transformers issue 16, written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona, and the cover here, the main cover is by Daniel Warren Johnson. I do love this variant by Jorge Corona. Look at this, the cover B. Great image there coming out of the smoke. This is $3.99 still, 28 pages, and all it says in the synopsis is Autobots versus Decepticons versus spoiler. Seriously, that's all it says. So, I'm still reading it. I do like Transformers. Maybe not as connected to it as some, but yeah, you can always rely on a good story from Daniel Warren Johnson. Let me know in the comments, are you really enjoying it? Are you still reading it? I'm sure people are very happy that it's up to issue 16 now. Doing very well as far as I know. Yes, here we have Geiger issue 10. That feels pretty fast since the last issue. Great main cover here by Gary Frank. This is written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank, colours by Brad Anderson. Again, it's $3.99 from Image. Hats off to them. Gotta say, I also love this cover C, Dylan Dietrich variant. Both awesome, aren't they? It's hard to choose. If your name's Salty Travelling Sea, you're probably going to pick up both. The return of Junkyard Joe, as Tariq Geiger's quest to find a cure to his radioactive condition continues. He finds himself once again face to face with the US Army's most dangerous weapon. But with Geiger's powers growing out of control, who will come to his rescue? You won't believe it. That's what they say. Yeah, really loving this series. It was one of my picks from last year, best comics of 2024. It was up there. And my third pick from Image is a new number 1. This caught my eye with the cover. The Lucky Devils issue 1. It's written by Charles Soule, art and colours by Ryan Brown, it says. $3.99, 28 pages. This is a synopsis. Good Omens meets Curse Words in this new series from the duo behind the smash hit 8 Billion Genies. The Lucky Devils is a tale of two rebellious demons who decide to start a revolution in hell, and the two ordinary 20-something humans they're going to manipulate to do it. A cheeky satirical look at good and evil, The Lucky Devils explores Faustian bargains and temptation in a rip-roaring hilarious new way. I didn't actually get round to reading 8 Billion Genies, but I kept hearing good things about it, so do let me know again in the comments, will you be picking this up? Are you interested? Oh, I really forgot to mention there's an open order Frank Miller variant for this. What do you think of this one? Would you pick it up or would you go for the main cover? I got two picks from Dark Horse Comics and Miller World. The first one is Nemesis, Rogues Gallery, issue 5. It's the conclusion, the finale. Written by Mark Miller, art is by Valerio Giangiordano, colours Lee Luffridge. All it says here is, there's an island where billionaires gather to indulge in the worst fantasies mankind can imagine outside the watchful eye of the authorities. Wait a minute, does that sound familiar? Nemesis has a plan that involves each and every one of them in our shocking conclusion to our most depraved series so far. Depraved. I've got to say, I'm lucky enough to have read a review copy of this, and oh my god, it's probably the best issue yet. It's absolutely balls out crazy, and yeah, without spoiling anything, I want to say, mate, you wonder, like, Mark Miller, are you okay publishing this? You're not going to get into trouble, are you? You're not going to suddenly mysteriously disappear when you're driving home one night? I hope not. This is followed by Prodigy, Slaves of Mars, issue 5. Again written by Mark Miller. This has art by Stefano Landini, colours by Michel Assarasacorn. I've got to say that slowly, it was so long, that name, I nearly ran out of breath. This is a double-sized finale as Edison Crane and his older, smarter brother discover who murdered their father, the decades-long secret slave program on Mars, and the terrible fate of the human race we're all facing sooner than we think. This one is a shocker. I haven't read this yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. Enjoying this series. Yeah, I can't wait. We're finally there. We're on Mars. We're finding out what it's all about. Who is behind it all? Who do you think it is?
Like, how come a ghost from space keeps chicken and ham around? You're right.
From Oni Press, EC Comics, we have Cruel Kingdom, issue 1. This is written by a number of writers. Listed are Cullen Bunn, Justin Jordan, Al Ewing, Dennis Culver, Chris Condon. The artists listed are Charlie Adlard, Kano, Leo Max. This main cover, the cover artist is by Adam Paulina. I've got to say, I like it. It's a fantastic cover, but I also love this. Cover B, Liam Sharp variant. Again, two difficult choices here. Which one would you choose? Right, let's have a look at the synopsis. It's $4.99, by the way, for this. Where once a cruel universe beckoned, now a cruel kingdom shall reign. Behold the bloody and barbarous age of wizards, knights and dragons, as reimagined in the immutable EC manner, as master scribes Al Ewing, Chris Condon, Geiger, Pack, didn't see him listed below, couple their forces with iron raw artists Kano, Leomax and more to forge a terrifying new vision of death, life and adventure once upon a time. From the twisted minds that spawned epitaphs from the abyss and Cruel Universe, steel thyself for 40 pages of fatal fantasy and skullduggerous sorcery in one cursed tome of comic book enchantment. Tell you what, mates, if the comic is as good as his fantastic synopsis, it's going to be a cracking read. I can't wait to read it. Okay, I almost missed this. I do have another one from Dark Horse. This is called Those Not Afraid, issue 1. It's written by Kyle Starks. Art is by Patrick Piazzalunga. Colours by Marco Bracco. $3.99 for 32 pages. It says here, a new crime series from 3-time Eisner nominee Kyle Starks. Peacemaker tries hard, Where Monsters Lie. For fans of true crime and murder fiction. 2 serial killers discover they are within reach of the state record for kills and enter a terrible competition to see who gets there first. Featuring amazing and stylish noir art from Patrick Piazzalunga, who did work on Monsters Are My Business. And incredible covers from the legendary Glenn Fabry, Preacher, Hellblazer. I remember Glenn. I remember the classic old covers, especially from Hellblazer. I used to buy that regularly. Preacher, I've only got the collected trades of that. What do you think, folks? Any interest in this? And finally, from Ablaze, this is called Parliament of Rooks Issue 2, a recommendation from me mate Salty. Okay, it's a duo creative team of Abigail Jill Harding and Richard Starkings. $4.99 for this. It says, the May Day festival is in full swing, and in the wake of Darius's sudden affliction, an old yet familiar face steps foot into Ravenscar Hall, possessing a diary that belonged to his late mother. With rumours speaking of a strange creature seen skulking around the city, Darius visits the Great East Window, fearful but determined to find out the truth. Ablaze is proud to present this Eisner-nominated gothic horror for the first time in print. So I think this started out as a Comixology original, digital, and they're bringing it out in print. I need to catch up with issue 1. I've not read it yet, but as I say, it was recommended to me, so I want to give it a try. Do love the atmospheric cover art. What do you think? Have you read this? Have you heard of this? Again, do let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your picks for this week as well. Okay, thanks for watching this far. Before we finish, let's have a look at some of the preview art by Gabriel Walter for Absolute Batman issue 4. This is off the Bleeding Fool. Is it Fool Cool? Bleeding Stool. Okay, just give you a look at some of the pages here. What do you think? It's got a very kind of crime noir feel to it, looking at it. Distinctive looking faces. Very different, of course, to Nick Dragotta's work so far. A pretty crazy scene here where if you look at the bottom panel, we see a spectral looking Batman with claws and red eyes in the background. The final preview page has Batman appearing to bite somebody's neck with fangs. What is going on? What's it all about? Again, can't wait to read Absolute Batman issue 4. And yeah, looking forward to the comics this week. So as always, thanks so much for watching this far. Really appreciate it. This has been Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse, signing off for the night. Matane.